Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your haunted host and resident medium, Jennifer. If you happen to have joined me in my spirit parlor this past Tuesday, we chatted in the candlelight in hushed tones about the traditions and symbolism of death omens. Following that spooky conversation, I thought I would share with you firsthand accounts from those who have experienced an omen of death for themselves. As we continue to enjoy spooky season, this episode promises the shivers. But don't go running off into the night. Linger near and join me at my séance table after the stories. As your medium, I will invite a spirit close, a loved one connected to someone listening to the podcast, for a message that could be for you, personally. That's later on in the episode. But first, let's serve up some chills. The ghostly stories begin right now. The package arrived on a Thursday afternoon. My mom stood over it for a long time before opening the heavy, square box, wrapped in brown paper and packing tape that seemed extra annoying to work around. Inside was a dark wooden mantel clock, elegant and worn, with brass hands and a slightly yellowed face. The clock seemed to hold a presence all its own. Its dark-colored wood almost seemed to make the room a little dimmer. I could tell from my mom's expression she wasn't happy to be holding this clock. I asked her if everything was okay. It hadn't been an easy month. Her dad had died, and although she hid her emotions behind a weak smile, my brothers and I knew she was trying to shield us from her grief. My grandfather had lived on the East Coast. I was told I met him a few times when I was younger, but I don't remember any of those visits. Since he had passed away, my mom said the clock was part of an inheritance she received. From her tone and the way she was handling this clock, I could tell she had accepted it begrudgingly. She wasn't normally like this, so I immediately wondered if this clock was what she was arguing about on the phone last week. She sighed heavily and looked at me as if to apologize, an expression I wasn't quite understanding. She took a moment and then said there was a family story, one she had always known about, involving this clock. It was said to stop just before someone died, a subtle, foreboding pause in the rhythm of life. She wondered who had heard it for her father, who had been marked by its final tick. Her next words came out even more hesitant. Someday, she said, the clock would be mine. Of course, I said I didn't want it, and we should just throw it away right now. She shrugged and then looked at me with that look parents give you. You're young, you'll figure it out later. As she left the kitchen, she explained that the firstborn always inherited the clock. Even now, as she moved through the house with the weight of it in her hands, there was this sense of inevitability. The clock was placed on the mantel above the fireplace. where it fit astonishingly well. Like its presence there now somehow marked the space had been empty and wrong beforehand. Now the room was complete. Its steady ticking fills the quiet house, a heartbeat in the dim and otherwise quiet room. I've caught myself listening to it more than I'd like to admit, wondering when the ticking would stop. It started at the grocery store. I was standing in line, half asleep after work, when something moved behind me. A flicker of black, shapeless, sliding along the shelves. I turned, expecting someone to squeeze past, but the aisle was empty. For a moment, I stood there, trying to bring logic to this startled feeling. A strange sense of being watched settled over me like static, and then it was gone. But the next evening, I saw it again. In my apartment this time, as I was turning off the living room light. A ripple of darkness just at the edge of my vision, quick, like a shadow that shouldn't be there. The air seemed to dip in temperature, just slightly, enough to make me shudder and rub my arm. I froze, waiting for movement again, but nothing happened. For the next few days, I kept catching it in glimpses, at the corner of the stairwell, behind a half-open door, reflected faintly in the glass of my front window. It never moved directly, it never took shape, just hovered, half seen, where light bent and shadows shouldn't gather. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to sound weird. But over the next few days, it kept happening. I told myself I was tired, overworked, but it was always the same, the slight movement in the corner of my eye, the flicker of black where there shouldn't be anything. Once I woke in the middle of the night and I saw it hovering by my doorway. I shut my eyes tight and waited, just listening to my own heartbeat. When I looked again, it was gone. The next morning, there was an ambulance across the street. It turns out my neighbor, the one who always brought over tomatoes from her garden, had passed away overnight. I stood there, staring out the window at her empty front porch. I didn't want to connect the two events, but I couldn't stop thinking about that shadow, the way it had been hovering around me, waiting for something. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to warn me about the black dog. She'd whisper that it's never really for you, but when you see it, you'll know what's coming. She said it ran in our family, not like a trait or a story, more like an omen. Each generation, someone would see it, this great dark hound that appeared before a death in our family. I never really believed her. Not really. Until the winter my dad died. It started with a smell, a strange metallic tang, like rain was coming. I caught the smell one night in the kitchen while making tea. My mom paused too, nose wrinkling. She remarked that perhaps a storm was coming, but I looked outside and the sky was clear, indifferent and still. Our dog, Finn, started pacing not long after. His nails clicked across the floorboards, back and forth, until he froze by the front door, growling low. I told him to stop, but his eyes stayed fixed at the door. Finally, I opened it to show him there was nothing there. That's when I saw it. A shape, halfway down the driveway, black as the space between stars, too big to be a normal dog, too still. Its form faded to nothing before its paws reached the earth. We stared at each other for what felt like forever, and then it turned. It walked away, slow and silent, its entire being fading into the night air before it hit the light of the street lamp. The next morning, my father didn't come down for breakfast. The doctor said it was his heart, quick and peaceful, but I kept thinking about that dog. At the funeral, my aunt, the one we called Crazy Sue, walked up to my side. She asked me if I was the one who had seen it. Apparently, she was making the rounds, trying to figure out what family member had glimpsed the dog. I didn't have to answer. She could see it in my face. She just nodded. "I saw it once," she said softly, "before your grandfather passed. It's not evil, you know, it's just the messenger." Years have gone by since then. I moved away. I have a family of my own now. Last night, walking home under the waning moon, I heard the faint sound of paws on gravel behind me. I have to admit, my breath caught for a moment before I turned around. A brown dog trotted past me. We both gave each other wary looks. I let out a slow breath, and I wondered if I would ever see that black dog again, or who would see it for me.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
Welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. I am here at my séance table, so come close into the candlelight. I'm going to open up the space for a message from the spirits for someone listening right now. Tonight, as I work, I have with me obsidian. Think of obsidian as a psychic sponge, one that helps drain off the stresses of the day when you hold it for a few moments. It's also a stone that protects against negativity. It's considered extremely protective and is said to allow no negative energy or negative spirits to enter your space. So keep obsidian close if you want that extra layer of psychic cleansing and protection. Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath and relax. Clear my mind and see who wants to come close tonight. I'm feeling warm. Okay. Yeah. And the crows are joining us right now. Wow. Okay, I have with me, it feels like fatherly energy. I'm just gonna work through these crows. It feels like father energy. It could also be your uncle who had a fatherly influence on you. He's sharing with me that he was a nurse. He didn't have burdens. He worked with others who had burdens, and he was kind of a tough, gruff guy, but he had that type of stability and support to really help those in need. He's sharing with me that he smoked, and I'm seeing this white stubble on his chin and this hearty laugh when he's telling a story. And he has this bright look in his eyes. He was a smart man. Okay. If there's a crow connection there, let me know. His message for you tonight, he wants you to do some emotional and mental housekeeping. It sounds like there are some things that can be let go of, that they're lingering on you, they're weighing you down, you're aware of it, it's not helpful, and you're just having a hard time breaking out of that cycle. Okay, so what's his advice to help with that? Very politely, he's saying that you haven't been growing and you don't feel inspired. It's hard to tap into that potential again. You're not resting. You're not taking time for self-care. All right. He is suggesting contacting your friends, reconnecting with your friendships and that laughter. And it's okay to let others lend you their energy for a little while. Just reconnect, start being active again, and taking small steps to reintegrate into movement and positivity. Not necessarily denying yourself negative emotions. It's more about shifting your attention and your focus into the things you love and feel brighter. He wants to say that you're so naturally talented and you're capable of doing anything you set your mind to. And he's proud of you for that. He knows you have a lot of strength, even if you don't feel it at the moment. Don't slip away quietly. Don't let yourself fade. Rekindle the smallest of sparks. It's something. It really is. Okay. I think I'm going to end it at that. If this message connects for you, I hope it finds you well and that this message brings you hope and encouragement and puts you on that path towards who you really are. Thank you. And with that, dear listener, we've reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you enjoyed my spirit work that I shared with you this evening, as well as those paranormal tales of death omens. Have you ever experienced such a warning yourself? I think I want to hear your story, so please reach out. And if you're enjoying the podcast, October is an amazing month for listeners to discover this show to keep them company all year. Support I Talk to Ghosts by leaving a rating on Spotify or leave a kind review on Apple Podcasts. And a special call out to do so if you received a medium reading from me in the past. Reviews and ratings nudge the algorithm, and it helps others join our spooky and spiritual space. So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate all your kind actions. Now, wherever you wander off to, in this world or the next, just remember, come back and visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people?
I've seen them.
Haunted military bases?
I've served on one.
Local restaurants with ghostly reputations?
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.
Welcome to Brew Crime, a true crime and beer podcast. Join me, Mike.
And me, JT.
As we explore the world of crime, conspiracies, or whatever catches our attention. This is a podcast where we pick a theme, cover a few cases, and pair them with a brew.
Between themes, we do what we call Brew Crime News. A funny look at current news stories, be it crime, animals, sports, or even celebrities.
You can find us on all social media at Brew Crime. Our website is brewcrime.com. And you can find us on any podcast app at Brew Crime Podcast.
Join us as we discuss the horrible crimes that surround us and maybe, definitely, tip a bottle or two back as you do it. Drink with us weekly.